shout.
The odd fellow.
Recluse.
What else have you heard?
Tell us at once. What does he cry? What does he cry? What does he cry?
Mozart!
Perdonami Mozart, il tuo assassino ti chiede perdono.
Pardon, Mozart.
Pardon your assassin.
Mozart, pieta.
Mercy, Mozart.
Mozart, have mercy.
He speaks in Italian when excited.
Gentlemen,
Perdonami, Mozart.
pardon your assassin.
There was talk once before, you know,
32 years ago.
when Mozart was dying.
He claimed to be poisoned.
Some said he accused him, and
Some said that man was Salieri.
but no one believed it. Syphilis, surely.
Like everybody else.
But what if Mozart was right?
He really was murdered.
And by him, our first Kapellmeister.
Antonio Salieri.
It can't possibly be true.
It's not actually true.
Because why?
Because why?
Why on earth would he do it? And why confess now?
After 32 years.
Mozart, perdonami, il tuo assassino ti chiede perdono.
What do you think?
What do you think?
I don't believe it.
I don't believe.
All the same,
Is it just possible?
did he do it
After all, Salieri.
Vi saluto. Del nombre il futuro, Antonio Salieri. A vostro servizio. I can almost see you in your ranks, waiting for your turn to live. Ghost of the future, be visible. I beg you, be visible. Come to this dusty old room. This time, the smallest hours of dark November, 1823, and be my confessors. Will ye not enter this place and stay with me till dawn? Just till dawn, till 6 o'clock. Can you hear them? Vienna is a city of slander. Everyone tells tales here, even my servants. I keep only 2 now. They've been with me ever since I came here, 50 years ago. The keeper of the razor, the maker of the cakes. One keeps me tidy, the other keeps me full. Leave me, both of you. Tonight I do not go to bed at all. Return me tomorrow at 6 precisely to shave, to feed your capricious master. Via, grazie. How surprised they are. They will be even more surprised tomorrow. Indeed they will. Oh, won't you appear? I need you desperately. Those about to die implore you. What must I do to make you visible? Raise you up in the flesh to be my last audience? Does it take an invocation? That's how it's always done in opera. Ah, yes, an invocation. Let me try and conjure you now. Ghosts of the future. To confess to you is gluttony. Sticky gluttony at that. Infantine. Italian gluttony. The truth is that all my life I have never been able to conquer a lust for the sweet meats of northern Italy where I was born. From the ages of 3 to 73, my entire life has been conducted through the taste of Milanese biscuits, almonds sprinkled with sifted sugar, sometime. My parents were Italian subjects of the Austrian Empire, a Lombardy merchant and his Lombardy wife. The notion of place, the tiny town of Legnago, which I could not wait to leave. The notion of God, a superior Habsburg emperor, inhabiting a heaven only slightly further off than Vienna. All they asked of him was to keep them forever unnoticed, preserved in mediocrity. My own requirements were very different. I wanted fame, not to deceive you. I wanted to blaze like a comet across the firmament of Europe, and yet, in one especial way, music, absolute music. A note of music was either right or wrong, absolutely. Not even time can alter that. Music is God's art. Already when I was 10, a spray of sound and notes would make me dizzy, almost appalling. By 12, I was stumbling across the countryside, humming my arias and anthems to the Lord. All I asked of him was to join all the composers who had celebrated God's glory through the long Italian past. Every Sunday I saw him in church, painted on the flaking wall. I don't mean Christ. The Christ of Lombardy were simpering sillies with lanterns on their sleeves. No, I mean an old candle-smoked God, staring over the world with dealer's eyes. Tradesmen had put him up there. Those eyes made bargains, real and irreversible. You give me so, I'll give you so. No more, no less. One night, I went to see him and made a bargain with him myself. I was a sober 16, filled with a desperate sense of right. I knelt before the God of bargains, and I prayed with all my soul. Signore, let me be a composer. Grant me sufficient fame to enjoy it. In return, I will live with virtue. I will be chaste. I will strive to better the lot of my fellows, and I will honor you with as much music all the days of my life. As I said, Amen, I saw his eyes flare.
Bene. Go forth, Antonio. You serve me and mankind, and you will be blessed.
Grazie. I go back. I am your servant for life. The next day, a family friend appeared out of the blue, took me off to Vienna, and paid for me to study music. 21. The age, still that of the Enlightenment. That's clear time before the guillotine fell in France and cut all our lives in half. I am 31, already a prolific composer to the Habsburg court. I own a respectable house and a respectable wife, Teresa. I do not mock her, I assure you. I require only one quality in a domestic companion: lack of fire. And in that mission, Teresa was conspicuous. I also had a prize pupil, Caterina Cavalier. She was a bubbling young student with merry eyes and a sweet, eatable mouth. I was very much in love with Caterina, or at least in lust. But because of my vow to God, I had never laid a finger upon the girl, except occasionally to depress her diaphragm in the way of teaching her to sing. My ambition burned with an unquenchable flame. Its chief goal was a post at first Royal Kapellmeister, then held by Giuseppe Bonner, 70 years old and apparently immortal. You, when you come, will be told that we musicians of the 18th century were no better than servants, the willing slaves of the well-to-do. This is quite true. It is also quite false. Yes, we were servants, but we were learned servants, and we used our learning to honor men's average lives. We took unremarkable men, usual bankers, run-of-the-mill priests, ordinary soldiers and statesmen and wives, and sacramentalized their mediocrity. We smoothed their noons with strings of peace. We pierced their nights with kittering. We gave them processions for their strutting, serenades for their rutting, trumpets by horns for their hunting, and drums for their wars. Trumpets sounded when they entered the world, and trombones groaned when they left. The savor of their days remains behind because of us. Our music still remembered, while their politics long forgotten. Tell me, before you call us servants, who served whom? And who, I wonder, in your generation, shall immortalize you?
Sir.
I was the most successful young musician in the city of musicians. And now, suddenly, without warning,
Mozart has come.
these are my Venticelli, my little winds, as I call them. The secret to successful living in a large city is always to know to the minute what is being done behind your back.
He said Salzburg.
Needs to be constant.
Asking for subscribers.
I've known of him for years, of course. Tales of his prowess were told all over Europe.
They sang you were his first symphony at 5.
I knew his first concerto at 4.
A full opera at 14.
Midget 80, King of Pontus,
How old is he now?
25.
And how long is he remaining?
He's not departing.
He's here to stay.
You are required to commission a comic opera in German from Herr Mozart.
Johann von Strack, Royal Chamberlain, a court official to his collarbone.
Why in German? Italian is the only possible language for the opera.
Count Orsini Rosenbach, director of the opera, benevolent to all things Italian, especially myself.
The idea of a national opera is dear to His Majesty's heart. He desires many pieces in was a child prodigy, that boy spells trouble. His father was Leopold Mozart, a pedantic Salzburg musician in the service of an archbishop. He dragged the boy endlessly around Europe, making him play the keyboard blindfolded, with one finger, and all that sort of thing. All prodigies are hateful. None of Baron was at all.
Even got some to really come here.
What are you saying?
Began to signor possible.
We meet tomorrow, I believe, on your committee to devise pensions for all musicians.
It's most gracious of you to attend, Baron.
You're a worthy man, Salieri. You should join our Brotherhood of Masons. We would welcome you warmly.
I would be honored, Baron.
If you wished, I could arrange initiation into my lodge.
That would be more than my due.
Nonsense. We embrace men of talent of all conditions. I may invite young Mozart also, dependent on the impression he makes.
Of course, Baron. Honor, indeed. In those days, almost all men of influence in Vienna was a mason, and the Baron's lodge, by far, the most fashionable. As for young Mozart, I confess, I was alarmed by his coming. He was praised altogether too much.
Such garrison spirit,
Such ease of manner.
such natural charm.
Where does he live?
His blood,
No brilliant.
landlord, he's man of favour.
A real bitch.
Takes him our lodge and has a tribe of daughters.
Mozart was engaged to one of them before.
As a parent, go to Aloysia.
She deals with him.
Now he's after another sister.
Constance.
You mean he was actually engaged to one sister, and now wants to marry another?
Exactly. Her mother's pushing marriage.
Father is.
Daddy is worried sick.
Why do you every day from Salzburg?
I want to meet him.
He'll be at the Baroness Volkswagen tomorrow night.
That's it.
Some of his music used to be played.
Rest among them.
Sacramento, signor.
So, to the Baroness Volstadt as I went. That night changed my life. I entered the library to take but first a little refreshment. My most generous hostess always put out the most delicious confections in that room whenever she knew I was coming. Sorbette, caramel, and most especially, a miraculous crème au mascarpone, which was simply cream cheese mixed with granulated sugar and suffused with rum. That was totally irresistible. I had just sat down to consume this paradisal dish, unobservable, as it happened, to anyone who might come in.
I gave you bounce, bounce.
And
too horrified to attend. But presently, the sound insisted. A solemn adagio in E flat. It would have been comic, except for the slowness, which instead gave it a sort of serenity. And then, high above it, sounded a single note in over. It hung there, unwavering, piercing me through to the breath of halting no longer. And a clarinet withdrew it from out of me and sweetened it into a phrase of such delight. It had me trembling. The light in the room flickered. My eyes clouded. The squeeze box groaned louder and louder. And high above it, the higher instruments wailed and wailed, sending lines of sound around me. Long lines of pain around and through me. Ah, the pain. Pain as I had never known. I called up to my sharp old father. What? What is this? But the squeeze box went on and on. And the pain cut deeper into my shaking head. Until suddenly, I was running, dashing through the side door, stumbling down the stairs, into the street, into the cold night, gasping for life. What is this? Tell me, senor. What is this pain? What is this need in the sound? Forever unfulfilled, yet fulfilling him who is it utterly. Is it your need? Can it be yours? Dimly, the music sounded from the slaughterhouse. Dimly, the stars shone down the empty street. Suddenly, I was frightened. It appeared to me that I had heard a voice of God, and that it was issuing from a creature whose own voice I had also heard. It was the voice of an obscene child. I ran home and buried my hearing one. More pupils to learn 30 and 40. More committees toiling long hours to help more musicians. More motets and anthems to God's glory. And at night, I prayed for just one thing. Let your voice enter me. Let me be your conduct. Let me. As for Mozart, I avoided meeting him and sent out my little winds for whatever scores of his could be found.
640 sonatas composed in Munich.
Two in their part. They're all clever,
A bruising symphony.
and yet they seem completely empty.
A divertimento indeed.
The same.
A Casizone too.
Conventional.
A grand litany in E flat.
Even boring. The productions of a precocious youngster. Leopold, Mozart's swanky son, nothing more. That serenade had obviously been an exception in his work. The sort of accident which might visit any composer on a lucky day. Had I in fact been simply taken by surprise that the filthy creature could write music at all? Suddenly, I was immensely cheered. I would seek him out and welcome him myself to Vienna.
Thanks and fireworks, gentlemen. Mozart is here. He's waiting below.
Majesty.
Just a bit on a more impatient.
Joseph II of Austria, son of Maria Theresa, brother of Marie Antoinette, adorer of music, provided it made no demands upon the royal brain. Majesty, I have written a little march in Mozart's honor. May I play it as it comes in?
By all means, court composer. What a delightful idea. Have you met him yet?
Not yet, Majesty.
Vincent Barnes. Strap, bring him up once. Mon Dieu, I wish we had a competition. Mozart against some other virtuoso. Two keyboards in contest. Wouldn't that be fun, Baron?
Not to me, Majesty. In my view, musicians are not forces to be run against one another.
Ah, well. There it is. better too. Mozart.
Majesty, your Majesty, come to play. We get your royal hand 100,000 times.
And never saw that. I heard less than Tuesday, my baby. Come, sir. Let me move. What up in comments? When the last time we met, you were also on the floor. My sister remembers it to this day. This young man, all 6 years old, mind you, slipped on the floor of the Chambord. Came a nasty color on his little head. Have I told you this before?
No, Majesty. No, Majesty.
Oh, well, my sister Antoinette comes forward and picks her up herself. And you know what he does? Jumps right in your arms. Opa, just like that. Kisses her on both cheeks and says, will you marry me? Yes or no? I do not mean to embarrass you, Mozart. You know one here, surely.
Of course, head rector. Head prefect.
But not, I think, up-esteemed court composer. A most serious omission. No one who cares for art can afford not to know Herr Salieri. He wrote that exquisite little march as well.
It was a trifle, Your Majesty.
Nevertheless,
I'm overwhelmed, signore.
ideas simply pour out of you, don't they, Strack?
Endless bizarre. Well done, Salieri.
Let it be my pleasure then to introduce you. Court composer Salieri, Herr Mozart of Salzburg.
Penelope, you go there to the left straight.
Grazie, signore. 1.000.000 di venditi sono commosso e un onore eccezionale incontrarla. Compositore brillante e famosissimo.
Right.
Tell me, Mozart, have you received our permission for the opera?
Indeed, I have, Majesty. I'm so grateful I can hardly speak. I swear to you, you are like the best, the most perfect entertainment ever offered the monarch. I've already found a libretto.
Have you? I did not hear of this.
Forgive me, Herr Rector, I hardly wanted to tell you.
May I ask why?
It didn't seem important.
Not important.
I can't really. No.
It is important to me, Herr Mozart.
Yes, I see that, of course.
And to pray is advised.
Stefan!
A most unpleasant man.
Brilliant writer!
Do you think?
The story is really amusing, Majesty. The whole plot is set in a...
Well, where is it set?
It's rather saucy, Majesty.
Yes, yes, where?
Well, it's set in a seraglio.
Oh, what?
The Prussian harem.
And you imagine that this is a suitable subject for performance at a national theatre?
Well, yes. No. Yes. I mean, yes, I do. Why not? It's funny. It's amusing. Oh, my Aunt Majesty, there's nothing offensive in it. Nothing offensive in the world. It's full of proper German virtues. I swear it.
Scusate, signore.
But what are those? Being a foreigner, I am not sure.
You are the cattivo court composer.
Not at all, Majesty.
Come then, Mozart. Name us a proper German virtue.
Love, sir. I get to see that expressed in any opera.
Well answered, Mozart. Excuse me, but I was under the impression one rarely saw anything else expressed in opera.
I mean manly love, signore. Not male sopranos screeching or stupid couples rolling their eyes over absurd Italian rubbish. I mean the real thing.
And do you know the real thing yourself, Herr Mozart?
I beg your pardon, Majesty. I believe I do.
Probably. When do you think it will be done?
The first act is already finished.
But it can't be more than 2 weeks since you started.
Composing is not hard when you have the right audience to please, Majesty.
A charming remark.
Indeed, Baron. Dates and fireworks. Dates and fireworks. Au revoir, Monsieur Mozart. Soyez bienvenue à la cour.
Majesty, je suis complètement heureuse d'être accepté dans la maison du père de tous les musiciens. Ce qui est mon inconsiplé ne seul ne plus votre Majesty. Maintenant, ne quittez pas, ce sont les télévisions.
Ah, well. You gentlemen get better acquainted.
Good day, Majesty.
Votre Majesty.
Good day to you.
Good day. Welcome, Mozart. I shall see much more of you. And yours.
Thank you, Baron.
Maybe.
Bennett,
I too wish you success with your opera.
I'll have it. It's going to be superb. I must tell you, I've already found the most excellent singer, the leading part.
Oh, who's that?
Her name is Cavalieri. Caterina Cavalieri. She's really German, but she thinks it will advance her career. She's more an Italian name.
She's quite
only 20. I had kept my hands off Katerina, yes. But I could not bear to have anyone else's upon her, least of all his.
You're a good fellow, Samir, and that's a jolly. You're making me great.
It was my pleasure.
Let's see if I can remember. May I?
And by all means, it's yours.
The rest is just the same, isn't it?
You have a remarkable memory.
It doesn't really work that far, does it? Let's try the third bar. Ah, yes, good.
Scusi, I must go.
Really, why don't you try there?
Thank you, but I must attend on the infant. It's been delightful meeting you.
For me too, and thanks for the march.
Was it then, so early, that I began to have thoughts of murder? Of course not. At least, not in life. In art, it was a different matter. I decided I would compose a huge tragic opera, something to astonish the world. And I knew my theme. I would set the legend of Amadeus, who for a monstrous crime was chained to a rock, his head repeatedly bashed by lightning. Wickedly, I saw Mozart in that position. In reality, the man was in no danger at all. Not yet. The first performance of the abduction from the Seraglio, the German expression of manly love. He himself contrived to wear for the occasion a more vulgar coat than usual. As for the opera, it matched the coat completely. For my dear pupil Caterina Cavalieri, he had written quite simply the showiest aria I'd ever heard.
Katerina is an excessive girl. In fact, she's insatiable.
All the same, as my ravine teacher, the Chevalier Gluck, used to say to me, one must avoid music that smells of.
What does that mean?
Music which makes one too aware of the virtuosity of the composer.
Gluck is absurd.
What you say?
He's talked all his life about modernizing opera, but creates people so lofty they sound as though they shit farmers. No, but it's too much. Gluck says. Chevalier Gluck, what's a chevalier? I'm a chevalier. The Pope made me a chevalier when I was still painting my bed.
Your fault, and your
Oh, the girl who doesn't love me. Oh, the girl who doesn't love me. Oh, the girl who doesn't love me can kiss my ass instead.
Barely 1 month later, that thought of revenge became more than a thought. Yet again, believe it or not, I was in the same concealing chair in the Baroness's library, consuming the same delicious dessert.
You lost. Now there's a penalty.
At a party celebrating the New Year's Eve, I was on my own. My dear spouse Teresa, visiting her parents in Italy.
Well, what? What is it?
I want to miss your card.
Oh!
Well,
Definitely got to
oh,
cheat
well,
your card.
come
My ladies does all grown up and
No,
born.
listen, so you both buzz
if
off.
you don't let me bloody that's hiding.
Oh, choose something else.
I've chosen that. Now quickly come and take my own.
Quicker, before anyone sees.
Hold the
But
trigger.
don't have to be held, thank you.
Yes, you do. That's part of the penalty.
No, stop that. It's quite enough of that.
17 inches knee to ankle.
You ought to let me do it.
That's not fair.
Hold it,
It's been
Carl.
done now. Let me down. Ah, no, no, no.
Gentlemen, if you please.
alone.
I can't do
I'm a
that.
married man.
All the same.
When is it work?
Afternoons.
Come up with
I can't possibly.
yes or no? In his interest. So I don't. Spoken aloud. Invited her. What of that vow I made in church? Fidelity, virtue, all of that. What did she think of me? This careful Italian, sincere friend, or hopeful seducer? Would she come? I had no idea. If she did, how would I behave? I had no idea of that either. Next afternoon I waited in a fever. Was I actually going to seduce a young wife with 2 months standing? Part of me, much of me, wanted it. Badly. Badly. Badly was the word. There she was. On the stroke. She'd come. She'd come. Grazie, Billy. Signore,
Excellency.
benvenuti. Grazie. Well, you have come.
I should not have done. My husband would be frantic if he knew. He's a very jealous man.
Are you a jealous woman?
Why do you ask?
It is not a passion I understand. You're looking even more pretty than you were last night.
Tell very much. I brought you some rare manuscripts by weekend. When you look at them, you see how right it is for the royal appointment. Will you look at them, please, while I wait?
You mean now?
Yes, I'll have to take them back with me. He'll miss them otherwise. He doesn't make copies. These are the originals.
Sit down. Let me offer you something special.
What's that?
The Veneric episode. Nipples of bees. Roman chestnuts. They're all paid to secure a post every musician in Vienna is hoping for.
What do you mean?
Is it not clear?
No, not at all.
Another pity. 1,000 pities.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
What?
What you've just said.
I said nothing. What did I say?
I'm going to get you.
Contact.
Let me
Contact.
talk,
Listen to
please.
me. I'm a clumsy man. Look at me. You think you're sophisticated. I'm not a fool. Take a true look. I have no cunning. I live on egg and sweet meats. I never see women at all. When I saw you last night, I envied Mozart from the depths of my soul. And from that envy came stupid thoughts. For one silly second, I dared imagine that out of the vast store you obviously possessed, you might spare me one coin of tenderness, which your rich husband does not need, and inspire me also. I use.
Mozart was right. You're wicked.
You said that.
All Italians are performers, he said. Be careful of that one. Me and you. He was being comic, of course.
Yes.
Well, not that comic, actually. I mean, you're acting a pretty obvious role, actually. A small-town boy and all kinds clever as cut. Are you sulking, honey? When Mozart sulks, I smack his body. He rather likes it. Should I scold you and then smack your body?
How dare you! Silly common girl! Boogie, let us confine our talk to your husband. He's a brilliant keyboard player, no question. However, a Princess Elizabeth needs a tutor in vocal music. I'm not convinced he is the man for that. I will look at the pieces you have brought and decide whether he is mature enough. I will study them overnight, and you will study my proposal. Not to be vague, that is the price. Good day.
which are you can put on paper without actually setting down his billiard cue casual notes, which turn my most considered ones into lifeless scratches. Grazie, signore! You gave me the desire to serve you, which most men do not have. Then saw to it that the service was shameful in the ears of the server. Grazie! You gave the desire to praise you, which most men never feel. They made me mute. Grazie, Tenti! You put into me the perception of the incomparable, which most men never know. Then ensure that I would know myself forever mediocre. Why? What is my fault? To this day, I pursued virtue with rigor. I worked long hours to help my fellow men. I have worked the work the talent you have allowed me. You know how hard I've worked. Solely. But in the end, in the practice of the art which alone makes the world comprehensible to me, I might hear your voice. And now, I do hear it. And it says one name, Mozart! Spiteful, sniggering, conceited, infantile Mozart, who has never worked 1 minute to help another man. Shit-talking Mozart with his body smacking wide. Him you have chosen to be your sole conduct. Him. And my sublime privilege. My only reward is to be the sole man alive who shall clearly recognize your incarnation. Grazie, grazie, Cora. So be it. From this time on, we are enemies, you and I. All not accepted from you, do you hear? They say God blows where it is. I tell you no. It must list to virtue or not blow at all. They say God is not mocked. I tell you no. Man is not mocked. I am not mocked. Dio injusto. You are the enemy. And I name thee now, Nemico Eternal. And this I swear. To my last breath, I will block you on earth as far as I am able. What use, after all, is man, if not to teach God his lessons? Before I tell you what happened next, God's answer to me, and indeed Constance's, and all the horrors which followed, let me start. The bladder, being but a human appendage, is not something you ghosts need concern yourself with yet. But I, being alive, though barely, am at its constant call. It is now 1 hour before dawn. I must release you. When I return, I will speak of the war I fought with God,
hard shouldered.
We must find him a first.
One danger. The Emperor. There's nothing available, Majesty.
There is chamber composer now that Gluck is dead.
Mozart to follow Gluck.
I won't let him say I drove him away. You know what a tongue he has.
Then grant him Gluck's post, Majesty. But not his salary. That would be wrong.
Gluck got 2,000 florins a year. What should Mozart get?
200. Light payments, yes. But for light duties.
Perfectly fair. I'm obliged to you, court composer.
Majesty. Easily done. Like many men obsessed with being thought generous, the Emperor Joseph was quintessentially stingy.
And Mozart, vous nous faites honneur.
It's a damned insult. Not enough to keep a mouse in cheese for a week.
Regard it as a token, Caroline.
When I was young, they gave me stock boxes. Now it's tokens, and for what? Bomb, bomb for fireworks. Blank, blank for concert dancers.
I'm sorry it's made you angry. I'd not have suggested it if I'd known you'd be distressed.
You suggested it?
I regret I was unable to do more.
Oh, forgive me. You're a good man. I see that now. You're a truly kind man, and I'm a monstrous.
No,
You make me ashamed, you excellent.
No. S'il vous plaît. A little less enthusiasm, I beg. Wolfgang, what is it?
I get cramps in my stomach sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Never mind. It's nothing really.
I will see you again soon.
Of course.
Why not visit me?
I will. I promise.
There, my friend. My new friend. Now, if the chance for God to crush me, I will. And do you know what happened? I had just ruined Mozart's career at court. And God granted my dearest wish.
Compel Master Bono.
Compel Master Bono.
Compel Master
Bono.
He is dead. You are appointed
By what
to
decree?
fill his place.
First Royal and Imperial Kapellmeister to our court.
Bravo!
Dear Salieri, there it is.
I was now truly alone. How long would I go unpunished?
Congratulations, sir. Mozart looks appalling.
We must be calling the court.
I hear he's dosing himself constantly with medicine.
For what?
Envy, I imagine.
I hear there's another child on the way.
There is. I've seen the mother.
I met him next in the Prater.
Congratulations, sir.
And to you both. Clearly, there was a change for the worse. His eyes gleamed oddly like a dog's when the light catches. I hear you are not well, my friend.
I'm not. My pains stay with me.
Pains? How wretched.
Also, I have bad dreams.
Also dreams.
Always the same one. A figure comes to me, cloaked in black, doing this. He has no face, just black like a mask. What can it be, do you think?
Surely you do not believe in dreams?
No, of course not.
Surely you do not, Madame?
I never dream, sir. Things are unpleasant enough to me awake.
It's all fancy, of
If
course.
Wolfgang had proper work, he might dream less, as Captain.
Stand here, please. Excuse us, sir. We are well enough, thank you. He's growing freakish.
No question.
Black figures with masked faces.
We proved to his father too much, I fancy. Also, his circumstances make him anxious.
They moved house again.
To the Rhinestein Grazzi, number 970.
They must be desperate.
It's a real smart.
Does he earn any money at all, apart from his post?
Nothing whatever.
I hear he's starting to beg.
They say he's written letters to 20 brother Masons.
Really?
And they're giving him money.
Of course. They would. I had forgotten about the Masons. Naturally, they would believe. How stupid of them. There would be no finally starving him out with the Masons there to help. Whatever he asked for, they would keep supplying. I had to stop it, and quickly.
Lord Hugh is most displeased with him.
Is he? Masons into it.
Into an opera? I couldn't. Oh, Stan, what an idea!
Our secrets our rituals are secret.
I didn't copy them exactly. I can adapt them a little.
It certainly would be in a great cause.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly love. Try it and see. Take courage, Wolfgang. It's a glorious idea.
It is, isn't it? It really is.
Of course. Say nothing until it's finished.
Not a word.
Secret.
Secret.
Good.
And if that didn't ruin him from the Masons, nothing.
Mozart is delighted with himself
He's writing a secret opera.
and won't tell anyone it's stayed.
It's too tiresome.
He told me. He told me everything. Initiation ceremonies, ceremonies with blindfolds, all rituals copied from the Masons. He sat at home, preparing his own destruction. A home where life grew daily more grim.
Cold. Cold all day. It's hardly surprising since we have no firewood.
Papa was right. We end exactly as he said. Beggars.
It's all his fault.
Papa,
He kept you a baby all your life.
I don't understand. You always loved Papa.
Did I?
You adored him. You told me so often.
I hated him.
What?
And he hated me.
That's absurd. You're being very silly now.
Am I?
Yes, you are, little wife of my heart.
Do you remember that fire we had last night because it was so cold you couldn't even get an inkling? You said, what a blaze. Remember? What a blaze. All those old papers going up. Well, my dear, those old papers were destroying your father's letters, that's all. Everyone he wrote since the day he married.
What?
Everyone. All the letters about what a ninny I am and a bad housekeeper I am. Everyone.
Dandy!
Shit on him! Shit on him!
You bitch!
At least you kept us warm. What else will do that? Perhaps we should dance. You like to dance. Well, let's dance. Dance to keep warm. Write me a contract, Mozart. To dog my dad's business. Non mi non try up, non non stone, on a girando.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Dandy, no, please, 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 I beg you. Look. Where's it coming from? Right out of that corner. Look, here's another one. All wet, all sloppy wet, going straight to you. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Get off!
I'm frightened, Stanley. Something awful's happening to
I
me.
can't bear much more of this.
And the figure's like this now. Here. Come here. Here. It becomes realer and realer.
Stop it! For God's sake, stop it! It's me who's frightened me. You frighten me. If you go on like this, I'll leave you, I swear it. I mean it, I do.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come here to me, little wife of my heart. Quick. Hold me and tell me who I am. Who's you? Who else?
Meow and cow.
And your sweetie Biggie and Stanza Nancy and Biggie Diddy.
Whoopie, whoopie.
Biggie Biggie.
Now, take it to
Come on. Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Bobby.
Bobby.
Baby.
Baby.
Bubba.
Bubba.
Bubba. Bubba.
Bubba, Bubba.
Bubba. Bubba. Bubba. Bubba.
Bubba, 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 Bubba.
Bubba. Bubba. Bubba. Stanley, what is it?
News, son, she's been delivered.
Unexpected.
Of a boy.
Poor little Eve.
You onto that couple.
Oh.
That brew, that money.
And the father of baby himself.
No idea.
No idea.
Something more has happened.
Even stranger.
She's gone! What do you mean? Stanza's gone away. She's taken the baby, gone to the garden. It cost us the money we had it. What? She's right to go. It's my fault. She thinks I'm mad.
Surely not.
Perhaps I am. I think I am. Yes,
Well,
let me tell you. Last night I saw the figure again. The figure in my dreams. Except this time, I was awake. It stood before my table, all in black, its face still black. And this time, it spoke to me. Wolfgang Mozart, you must now write a requiem mass. Take up your pen and begin.
A requiem.
I asked, who is this requiem for? Who has died? It said, the work must be finished when you see me next. And it turned and left the room.
This is morbid fancy.
It had the force of real things.
hostage was almost annihilating. This is so exciting.
Do you really think so?
Oh yes, this is the audience we should be writing for, not the dreary court. As always, you show the way. As always, he did. My pungent neighbors rolled on their benches at the jokes, and I, alone, in their midst, heard the magic flute. He put the masons into it quite enough. Oh yes, but how? He had turned them into an order of eternal priests. I heard voices calling out of ancient temples. I saw a vast sun rise in a timeless land where children danced and animals floated and fires raged all the voices we met each other torn up and burned away. And in this sun, behold, I saw his father. No more an accusing figure, but forgiving. The highest priest of the order. His hand extended to the world in love. Wolfgang did Leopold no longer. A final legend had been made. Oh, the sound of that newfound peace in him, mocking my undiminishing pain. There was a magic flute, there out beside me. Mozart the flute, and God, the relentless plan. How long could he stand it? How long could the creature stand it? So frail, so palpably mortal. And what was this I was tasting suddenly? Could it be pity? Never.
Mozart!
Baron, you here. How wonderful of you to come.
What have you done?
Excellency.
You have put our rituals into a vulgar show. They're playing for all to see and to laugh at. You have betrayed the order.
Baron, what?
Do not speak for him, Salieri. You were ever a cruel Bulgarian we hoped to man. Stupid, hopeless task. And now you're a betrayer as well. I shall never forgive you, Mozart, and I shall ensure that no Freemason or man of distinction will do so in Vienna so long as I have life.
Baron, please, I must speak.
No, sir, leave alone. I did not look for this reward, Mozart. Never speak to me.
Wolfgang? Wolfgang, all is not lost. But of course, it was. Now, he was ruined, broken and shunned by all men of influence. And for good measure. He did not even get the half receipts from his opera.
Chicken ain't paid for nothing. Chicken over cheese and gives him enough to lick up.
Here's the rest. I could not have managed it better myself. And then, silence. No word came from him. Nothing. I waited each day. Nothing. Why? What does he do?
He sits at his window,
Day all right.
writing
Writing like a man possessed.
springs up every moment,
There's one here in the street.
as if expecting something.
Someone. We
We
can't
can't
imagine
imagine
what.
I. Who did he look for? A figure in black, masked and sorrowing, come to take him away? I knew what he was doing, alone in that slum. He was writing his requiem mass for himself. And now, I confess, the wickedest thing I did to him. My friends, there is no blasphemy a man will not commit, compelled to a war such as mine. I got me a cloak of black. Yes. I got me a hat of black. Yes. And a mask of black. Yes.
as the messenger of God. I confess that in the year 1791, I, Antonio Salieri, then as now First World Troublemaster to the Empire, walked empty Vienna in the freezing moonlight for 7 nights on end. This precisely. As the clocks of the city struck 1, I would hope beneath his window and become his more terrible clock. Every night, I showed him one less thing. Every night, the face he showed me at the glass was more crazed. Finally, with no days left to him, horror. I arrived as usual, halted, and instead of fingers, reached up beseechingly as the future of his dreams. Come, come, come. For one long moment he stood there swaying, as if he would faint off into death. Then suddenly, incredibly, he realized all his little strength, and in a clear voice called down to me the words of his opera, Don Giovanni, inviting the statue to dinner.
Statua gentilissima, venite a cena.
One long moment, one crazed man looked at another. Then suddenly, incredibly, I found myself nodding, starting to move across the street, pushing down the latch of his door,
the other corpses in an unmarked blind pit.
What little I can spare you shall have for the children. There's no need to waste it on vain show.
What did I feel? Relief, of course. And pity, too, for the man I helped to destroy. I felt the pity God can never feel. I weakened God's flute to thinness. God blew, as he must, without cease. The flute split in the mouth of his insatiable need. As for Constantia, in the fullness of time she married again. A Danish diplomat, as dull as a clock, and retired to Salzburg, birthplace of the great composer, to become the final authority to all matters Mozart.
A sweeter-tongued man never lived. In 10 years of blissful marriage, I never heard him utter a single coarse or conceited word. The purity of his life is reflected absolutely in the purity of his music. In selling his manuscripts, I charge by the heap. So many notes, so many shillings. That seems to me the simplest way.
What did I feel? One amazing fact emerged. Mozart did not imagine that masked figure that came to him in black and said, "Take up your pen and write a requiem." It was real. A certain Bazone novel called Count Volsek had a longing to be thought a composer. He actually sent out his steward in disguise to Mozart to commission the piece, secretly, so he could pass it off as his own work. And this he even did. After Mozart's death, it was actually performed as Count Volsek's requiem. And I conducted it. Naturally I did. I presided over great musical events in Vienna. I even conducted the salvos of Cannon in Beethoven's dreadful Battle Symphony, an experience which made me almost as deaf as he was. And so, I stayed on in the city of musicians, on and on and on, reverenced by all for 32 years. And slowly, I understood the nature of God's punishment. What did I ask for in that church as a boy? Was it not fame? Well, now I had it. I was to become quite simply the most famous musician in Europe. I was to be bricked up in fame, embalmed in fame, buried in fame. But for what? I knew to be absolutely worthless. This was my sentence. I must smell. I must endure 30 years of being called distinguished by people incapable of distinguishing. I must smell as I wrote it the deadness of my music, while their eyes filled with tears and their throats brayed with cheering. And finally, when my nose had been rubbed in fame to vomiting, awards, receptions, civic medals and chains, suddenly his master spoke. Silence. It would all be taken away from me. Every scrap. Mozart's music would sound everywhere, and mine in no place on earth. I must survive to see myself become extinct.
it deals with this. All this week, I have been shouting out about murder. You heard me yourselves. Do you remember? Mozart creator, pardon your assassin Mozart. I did this to lips. My servants carried the news into the streets. The streets repeated it to one another. Now, my name was on every tongue. Vienna, city of scandals, had a scandal worthy of it at last. Could it be true? Is it possible? Did he do it after all? Well, my friends, now they will all know for sure. They will hear of my dreadful death, and they will believe the lie for eternity. From today, whenever men speak of Mozart's name in love, they will speak mine with loathing. As his name grows in the world, so am I. If not in fame, then in infamy. I am going to be immortal after all, and he is powerless to prevent it. So, Signore, see now if man is not. I was born a pair of ears, nothing else. It is only through hearing music that I know God exists. It is only through writing music that I could worship. All around me, men hungered for general rights. I hungered only for particular notes. They sought liberty for mankind. I sought only slavery for myself, to be owned, ordered, exhausted by an absolute. This was denied, and with it, all meaning. Now, I go to become a ghost myself. I will stand in the shadows when you come to this earth in your turns. And when you hear the dreadful bite of your feathers and the taunting of an unachievable, uncaring God, I shall whisper my name to you. Antonio Salieri, patron saint of mediocrities. And in the depths of your downcastness, I will forgive you. Vi saluto.
Don't
No one